But I think Storm is actually going to wreck him as well, so Centaur is going to have a tough time, Omni's going to have a tough time. VP expects it to be off lane. They take out the TA as a response.
Yeah. So they are assuming support Omni then.
Yeah, I guess they are. I mean,
I don't know. I feel like support Omni is only good when you're confident in your early game, right?
Here's the thing. What about a mid-tier lane? That's something that we haven't talked about. You meta on the first lane. You actually do quite well against the Storm, I would imagine.
Yeah, probably. I think that might be something that they want to do. Run these kind of semi-dual lanes with Venge just stacking for the Terrorblade, like they did that other game yesterday, I think it was, where suddenly the Terrorblade has like a few CS and then he goes jungle and there's like 5 stacks for him and he just farms it with meta and Howl. I think that's maybe something that I would want to do here. But this is like off-lane Elder Titan.
Yeah, this is all-out aggression too from VP. Like every single one of their heroes is amazing at fighting early game.
It's a really good choice here. I think VP are like drafting really, really well in this best of 3 so far. The choice of putting Elder Titan offlane here I think is very good. Because the Senking is not going to get pressured in the jungle, and the Elder Titan should be very good against, like, he will get a lot on that offlane, just with his boots and high move speed. They won't be able to kill him so easily.
So if you're looking at Cloud9 right now, we got one more pick, and we're assuming, I guess, it's Fata's hero, but Puck has been banned like the entire tournament, more or less, whenever playing against Cloud9, so yeah. I even think something like a Nyx wouldn't be too bad, just to give you something that can actually help you create space, because right now, like, they don't have any pick at all, but they're gonna go LC.
Okay.
All right.
So, mid Centaur or safe lane Centaur?
Yeah, it looks like to be mid.
I think safe lane Centaur, and then this dual lane mid with maybe the Omni Knight is gonna pull and stack, not pull, but like stack the jungle, and then Fata will free farm on the Centaur on the safe lane, and then we get this fast blink, and then Legion on bottom is like, I mean, obviously he's also gonna have a hard time against Skywrath. Like Skywrath just zones any hero, but maybe Legion is maybe one of those that can do a little bit better, just because he's so strong, has high armor and high HP, and has this, the skill set that he has.
I'm feeling this is more and more like a TI4 final repeat, where the games are like 15, 20 minutes, and it's like the same death ball push, and we're in a different patch, but Virtus.Pro, maybe with a little hiccup from Cloud9, are getting the advantage. This particular draft, though, I don't think we're going to see a 20-minute game. I think we're going to see a little bit longer, and as the games drag out, I think that's where Terrorblade wants to be. I think that's where Omni Knight wants to be, so we'll see if Cloud9 could pull it back, and the game will begin. Cloud9 down 2 maps. Win 3 in a row, but if that's any team would do it, Cloud9 definitely has a great shot. They are gathered up on the bottom lane and looking to play some very aggressive wards.
Yeah, they probably want to block some sinking camps, I could imagine. Maybe they block the pull. If they manage to block the pull and it doesn't get removed, it's really, really good for LC on the offlane. So that's probably what they're thinking. And they don't actually have money for sentries at the moment, so this is pretty important for the early game for C9, I'd say.
Yeah, pretty important for Cloud9 to drop those wards without being seen, and likewise for VP, they would like to see those wards are dropped. Pilot shows himself. He's got 2 wards. He's gonna just stand there. And here comes the rest of the team. Maybe they're showing a little bit of vision. They're still checking on Pilot. He's past one. That's so next level. He thinks the wards are placed, but in fact, where is it? It's actually on Aoi. Aoi places one as well. Okay, did they see what they did?
He noticed that.
A little bit of nice, cute trick, but didn't work out there.
Well, yeah, they're still gonna have to wait for some gold for sentries. But yeah, the problem for C9 there was that they couldn't even zone the. I mean, they probably should have put more emphasis on zoning the VP heroes out. But then again, they don't really have this catch, so VP don't really have to be afraid of anything because they have boots and Skywrath. They're very fast heroes, so a bit harder than they would maybe expect to get those wards out.
Well, you guys call the dual lane, at least, coming out from Cloud9.
Okay, it's going to be the Omni is going to be at bottom for starters. I guess Centaur will just Like maybe Venge will help him a little bit in the beginning, like the first couple levels, and then he will leave to stack for a TB. Maybe he will just stack right away and help mid instead. We'll see how he prioritizes.
I think if Storm is left alone against Terrorblade, the Storm wins pretty hard eventually. Like you'll have Metamorphosis for a little while, like maybe 1 or 2 creep waves, and then as soon as it goes away, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, it's true, but like that's the thing about this Terrorblade and the way EE also likes to play it. He usually just goes off map when he's level 4 or 5 or whatever, and then he just farms the jungle. So he will catch up eventually. So I think this can be fine for C9. C9, yeah.
Looks like we're going to see a little pause here. Key thing to point out is that Aoi has gotten a teleport scroll right from the get-go. And ideally, I guess, this when Envy gets dive, you TP in. And because he's got such high armor, low health, that heal is actually going to give him a lot of effective HP.
I think that's like one of the heroes you want to carry a TP on early. Like you think that in Abaddon, like those heroes.
Yeah, Jadam in game 1 with the TP turned the gank around and was extremely effective. But back in the mid lane, Envy, look at him just completely bullying G out of the lane. G has to pop south, eat his tango. That's going to delay his bottle quite a bit,
Yeah, this is working out pretty good, at least the first...
Bottom lane, Burrow Strike going on Bone 7. He's taking a ton of damage purification in 5 seconds. Bone is going to get dagger. He pops a magic stick. Here comes a shot. The heal is available, but in fact, Aoi uses heal. He wants to go offensively, but the range creep's going to get the kill. BCC's fighting too many creeps at once. Here comes a little bit of a nuke from Bone 7. They got to back off now. Yo has another Burrow Strike. It's going to be a 2-man Burrow Strike. He goes on Aoi. Aoi does not have any more mana, but he'll walk away. Bone 7, there's too many range creeps here. Aoi's going to walk away. The tango regen will give it to him. And it looks like the early game aggression finally benefiting Cloud9 for once. Top lane, a little bit of body blocking going on here. Sejoy drops the aura. There is no more magic missile. There's a clarity if Highlight Die wants to pop it. Fata looking for the hoof stomp. The jukes is coming out, but...
No boots on the EC.
Oh, okay.
He's going to end up getting stunned here.
Okay. And double edge. One more hit. They'll get it. That's a very rare occurrence. Cloud9 winning the early game engagements.
I mean, there was like 100 million creeps that they were tanking bottom when they went in.
That was like 3 waves in the end. I don't know. This is also something that happened a lot in these tournaments. This fight back and forth, and like overextending.
Okay, miss.
Okay, he's fine. So I think this is pretty much the best possible thing you could ask for if you're Cloud9. I mean, your laning phase is not... the bottom lane should definitely not have gotten kills. Like, there's no way that should have ever happened because you don't have any way to initiate. You're basically just waiting for them to go on you.
Yeah, this is a perfect scenario for them. I mean, Omni is already close to level 3. And this LC is gonna... Like, this is overextending right now. Or maybe not even.
Well, there is no repel on Aoi. He does have 1 heal, though.
He doesn't give a fuck.
Okay, they're actually just continually running MVP.
They're getting slowed down, and I really like the level 2 in Degen aura. Not something you pick up as a support Omni, but when the lane's going like this, hey, why not? You're chasing people down.
Look at the tier 1 taking so much damage off this as well.
And they're not getting the experience. The creeps are just dying under the T1. This tri-lane also, is unable to pull. Bone 7 is just like, you know what? I'll tank the creep wave. I got my my lifesteal and moment of courage.
Yeah, they actually can't do much in this lane anymore. I don't know if they should try and rotate or try and like Stanking just goes stacking off map and then they will be a bit afraid of North lane maybe, but they just need to heal up, get full mana, get full HP, and then do a proper go, maybe on the Omni, or try a smoking or something like that because this lane is not going to work out. They need to try something different.
I mean, at this point, don't you think it would just be better for Gil to abandon the lane and just try to farm instead?
Oh, that dot top lane, magic missile is going to fly out. Hoofstomp's going to miss here. So Joy getting a little bit of extra movement speed thanks to that Astral Spirit coming back to him. And they'll be fine.
But yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously they need to find some way to get experience and more gold here. So I don't think it's a good choice sharing experience 3 ways, at least bottom lane, anymore against these 2 heroes because they can't do anything to them. Yola's got his level 3 now, so he can at least farm some stack. Which
there hasn't been any stack because
a hill bear on top of a wild wing ripper here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there's a 1 stack. Okay.
All right. Well, he'll work on that one. Meanwhile, MV on the mid lane, as expected, is slowly losing the lane against the Storm. Whenever he's not in meta, he's having a tough time walking in. Once G gets level 6, because his team is losing so badly, do you think he should be aggressively ganking, or he's farming up to maybe treads, maybe?
I think he should just keep farming, keep a TP score on him, maybe wait for a good rune or just a good opportunity. I don't think there's any point stressing ganking because then you might just end up like wasting your time. But I mean, obviously, God is gonna have to help his team get back into this game one way or another eventually, because the Elder Titan won't really make those moves. But what are we gonna see here? Maybe a smoke, or this is a rotation towards mid.
Let's see if they're gonna get the kill. They have a lot of stun. They have a lot of silence. And Envy's not even level 6 yet, so if the Storm jumps in, they should have a free kill.
It's only a level 1 pull, though. They have to be really careful about how they do it.
But this is like a pretty good timing. At one point, I'll look top lane now.
And top magic missile will hit, but situation.
Yeah, they wanted to just go mid and gang with a Storm level 6, but I mean, that is also kind of predictable. E is not going to fall for that.
Yeah, MVC's with the ward on the high ground, so he'll back off. A very slow mid-game, or slow transition to that fast-paced start, and I think that still favors Cloud9. I'm surprised to see that Envy hasn't gone into the jungle yet. I think he might do so now and give Aoi a little bit of catch-up farm in the lane.
Yeah, he could. There's a huge stack here, just stacking by... That was actually EE, stacking with Lucians. And, I mean, yeah, I think they're just gonna... Maybe they're just farming the LC and Omni right now.
Okay. They're gonna just two-man farm it, yeah?
Maybe all three, yeah.
I mean, the overwhelming odds, the heal bomb is gonna be there. And they're gonna even pop Terrorblade Metamorphosis for this.
I really like the way that Cloud9 have actually laned this, because normally Omni is a pretty level-starved hero. And you put an LC off lane who kind of needs farm a little bit more, but still kind of benefits highly from levels, and you win your lane super hard, and you kind of force the Sand King to be there all the time, because you're farming against a melee carry, right? Like BZZ on PA, it's really hard to go up to the creep wave until you get a few levels. You have to kind of use dagger to CS, so I think that pressure alone in that lane has put Cloud9 in a really nice position.
I mean, I think that was a very fortuitous start, though. You don't send your Omni LC bottom and be like, all right, we got this lane won.
Well, it's more about forcing VP to do things to that lane, like keep the Sand King around.
The Skywrath wasn't stacking, the Sand King wasn't stacking, they weren't ganking mid because of the pressure.
It worked out also so well because they did manage to block the pull, and VP never contested to remove the board. Instead, they just tried to play aggro on the lane, maybe one level too early or something, and then suddenly they didn't have enough damage, whereas they could probably have waited, and the Sand King could have stacked, like you said, and then get levels on PA and Skywrath, and then go like properly.
You might see it go on top, but as soon as the TP came in, you can see that there is a very good ward in the lane that's got out TP. On the bottom lane, it's going to be a go on Bone 7, but you know, he's actually very tanky. He has one bottle charge as well. Press the attack. Does he want a duel? Probably not here. He might dual draw them though. No, drops overwhelming on. The duel's going to come out on BZZ, but in fact, he might give away a little bit of damage. Bro Strike will hit. The winner is not Phantom Assassin, but he will get the kill. Whoa. The heal bomb from AEI 2000 out of nowhere.
That was really cool. It was so close that he actually healed the LC and got a double kill that way. That would have been even bigger. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, that's Omni level 7 at 8 minutes with 1400 gold and the stick. I mean, this is a fat Omni on support.
I think that's actually worst case scenario for VP as well. Like the one hero that they don't want to have like quick arcanes and high level is the Omni, because whenever G goes on somebody, Omni completely thwarts that 100%. And it makes you have to go on the Omni, which is also not something that you want to have to do.
I mean, eventually the Venge and Omni just protect each other, right? Fata in a lot of trouble up top here. TP in, and G does not have enough. He has to jump back out, but Magic Missile might hit. G uses another jump. Pi has the Magic Missile. Can he get into range? Overwhelming odds will pressure them away. But yeah, once Venge gets level 6, like you can't go on either of the supports because they'll protect each other and the rest of the team. So, oh, in fact, Blink Initiation from Fata not gonna hit.
And here's the free farm Sensor Blink Tranquils at 9 minutes. So this is probably where Sensor is like the scariest in a game, when he gets the super early Blink Dagger.
So, looks like we see it go on the bottom lane. The crit dagger is going to start things out. Aoi silence up. Should die. Stampede's going to be used. He stutter steps and then heals himself. All right. I mean, Stampede is...
No RNG crits.
I mean, I think until Skywrath hits 6, going on him is very hard. Like, you need a third person, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't lose anything from going there, I guess. So.
Oh, G, top lane. Just going here on Bone 7, doing quite a bit of damage. Press the attacks there, though. It will be fine.
No mana for that clap. Meanwhile, Aoi's going to get picked down here on the bottom.
They got him.
Yeah. So, BZZ is a big fan of this Battle Fury build. But when your team doesn't have a very good start, is the Battle Fury the the item you want? Because I feel like you need to have a lead to farm with the item.
I mean, it's not bad against illusions, right? At the very least, like, the game goes a little bit later. You don't want to really go first item BKB, because it's not really that impactful for you. But if you get like one decent farming item into a transition into a BKB, then it becomes a lot better, I think.
I still think it's pretty good. I mean, you could go for some kind of like a casual bracer or Aquila like first, so you're a bit stronger fighting. But I mean, the item scales pretty well with your hero. Like overall, the perseverance is very good. Like you get this sustainability in the lane, and the damage always works with your ulti, obviously. So, I mean, I think it's still very good, even though you're maybe a bit behind in the early game.
I'm suggesting it because a lot of the other PA players have been going for the Aquila into a Helm build, where you get about like 20 damage from the Aquila, another 20 from the Helm. You have your power treads, so suddenly you're looking at around 50 early game damage, give you a ton of armor to withstand those mid game spells or mid game fights. So it's interesting to see him going for this particular build. We'll see if it pays out. Also, he's having a tough time farming on this bottom lane. Every time you go next to a creep wave, he gives him a heal bomb.
I think it's really risky to try to fight against Cloud9. Like, they have so much chain stun.
That's true.
And they don't have any way to...
Top now, there's a smoke here.
Bone7 in a ton of trouble here. And are we going to see any TB? 2 TBs immediately. The question is, can they get the quick kill? Pressing attack comes in. The 2-man stomp. I think Bone7 said. The question is, are they going to lose anyone in a result? The silence still resisting on Fata. Fata's blink, stomp. They're going to get the kill. 1-for-1 trade, but it's going to be 2 TP for a smoke gank. I guess that's pretty even, I suppose.
Yeah, I think VP are okay with that trade-off. Definitely.
I mean, the Sky still isn't level 6, right? I mean, when he gets his ulti, that's going to be the time where getting those pickoffs is going to be way easier. They probably don't even lose one person there if he had Mystic Flare. But we'll see. Aui's still just allowed to sit here bottom, just getting full EXP and even farming.
Yep.
So I think he got his blink now. And a smoke. So we'll see. They might just smoke with the storm as well. Actually, he's going to TP bottom, okay.
And this is a pretty good timing as well. Like, considering his early game was not great, he still managed to get it.
And Storm TP'd as well, and they're gonna smoke, alright. So they need to get something out of this.
They need to get on me first, right? If you go on Bone7, there's just way too much heal and repel.
Well, they need vision of him. If they don't have vision,
they have a lane
right?
ward.
This is actually...
They see Aoi. They have a lane ward on the left side.
Okay.
So I think he just jumped past. And he's gonna go right on. Yeah, there you go. The pull comes in the end. Nice stall. It's gonna be a double kill. Perfectly executed by Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, really well done by them there. That was really, really big for them. They got so much of that, and they're gonna pressure the tower as well. But actually, I think Skyra died in mid lane. Sensor. But he got his 6, so it's a bit unfortunate, but whatever. They're still fine with that bottom trade-off. So
I was a little bit concerned about
bottom.
G. Oh, looks like Stampy's gonna get used and try to get him out. I was a little bit concerned about G because he was participating a ton of ganks, but he's actually coming out ahead with the gold. I don't want to say well on his way on Orchid, but he's definitely working on it.
Yeah, I think the Orchid timing for him is probably going to be like 16, 17 minutes. That's been about the standard that we've seen so far. It's just because the Storms are having to be a lot more active in the early game than we're used to seeing. In this game especially, like G is always a high-impact player. He goes for kills, I think, more than he likes to farm. So his playstyle, I think, is more about winning his team lanes than it is getting a super fast Orchid.
And he has generally very good decision-making and committing to kills and getting them. A lot of times, like for example, the earlier mistake he did was walking up a hill against a Venom with Zeus and died there. But he rarely makes too many of those mistakes, and I feel like as a Storm player, you can't make too many of those.
Bottom lane. Oh, see you later, Bone7. That damage is way too high.
Top lane TP out from Storm, gonna run away from a key gank. So despite the poor start from Virtus.Pro, they're kind of bringing it back together.
Now they're making a lot of good moves and a lot of good rotations. This bottom lane twice now. LC getting caught. He has nothing or what. He's nowhere close to Blink or Blade Mail or whatever he wants to go. He only has treads.
I think it's important too that he's the one who keeps dying, because normally, like having double blink initiation on the side of Cloud9, you can duel like a Storm or something, which is really hard to deal with, and then you just end up losing him. But because he doesn't have a blink, and he's not going to have one for a very long time, I think that VP are feeling quite comfortable right now.
Yeah, and the hero doesn't form that fast. I mean, sure he has his overwhelming odds and stuff, but it's not like some other heroes that can keep spamming out waves and getting all creeps. And so he kind of needs this blink within the next 5 minutes, I would say.
Well, here's the thing though. The hero that we haven't talked about at all is Envy, and he's farming very decently on the mid lane, pretty high up on the net worth. There is the clock,
here's the
right?
Stacks, but Storm is ready for this. He saw it. So this is going to be interesting. Meta is popped. He only has 650 HP, so he can... I don't know if Storm can kill him alone, but...
He has level 1 Remnant and max out Overload. Not with the supports nearby, so... Yeah, it's... I mean, this is time that G is not farming.
Yeah,
so.
and it also it dies so fast, the stack, they can't even rotate fast enough.
I might be able to get the tier 1 bottom and trade though, which wouldn't be too bad, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. If they can get tier 1 bottom and then initiate like afterwards, maybe. They're also pressuring top actually, so this is not so bad for them.
Are you surprised at all by Aoi not having Guardian Angel at this point? I know it's a very hefty mana spell, but I'm not sure how many levels he's going to get. It looks like Aoi's going to get caught here on the left side. Nicely initiated, and G again participating in this kill. He's very patient with that one, but got it still.
Top lane thanking.
Nice stun timing.
And he's fine.
Oh, he'll blink away. Yeah, nicely done. Perfectly played.
I mean, I think if he doesn't stun the LC there, he actually dies.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't have had his blink, I don't think. Still though, really surprising. Even Sidoi not had the best game. I mean, he's only died twice, but he's still getting close to his Yules if that's going to be his first item choice. And then all of a sudden you have to worry about Earth Splitter combos, which are very dangerous, especially for heroes like Terrorblade. Like, you just die so fast.
In fact, he's gone back for a Midas.
Wow.
All right. Well, it's pretty good on Titan. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing an Eel Scepter here, but I mean, Midas, you're gonna get that Eel Scepter
very quickly.
Within 4 or 5 minutes tops.
And importantly, you get that level 16. I mean, I guess, or more importantly, just max out Echo Stomp and the Aura, which he has the Aura maxed out for now.
Yeah, and you're not gonna stop farming after you get the Eels. You're gonna continue like getting bigger items as the game progresses. You can even get like Hexes or Dagon and whatnot on that hero later on. It can be very effective to get this Midas.
So we've been having a very slow-paced game, and you know, when BCC is going for the Battle Fury build, his supports are beginning to stack. Yeah,
he has it now. So I think, all things considered, the bottom lane and stuff, VP has managed to come back into this game pretty nicely. I think they're in a really good position. TB does have some farm, but he's still not that scary. He needs to get some kills, they need to win a fight, they need this double damage for EE once again, and they need some things to go their way. Then they're going to be back in the game. But this smoke gang could be pretty important. If VP just backs off and pressures in bottom or initiates bottom or something, then that could be a pretty big important place.
They're showing Sidoi right now, but the Sand King is nearby. This could be a very kind of brutal counter game, but they see him. In fact, they're initiating on him. Yo is not, no, Barrel Strike will not be cast. Meanwhile, it looks like it's going to be Sidoi trying to run out. He is going to TP out successfully. Meanwhile, BZZ already pressuring a tier 2 bottom.
I know, that's still a win for VP.
I think so,
They lose the support, they kill Bone 7 again, still not anywhere close to Blink. They lose their tier 1 safe lane, didn't even deny it. Like, and that was a, what, a 3 or 4 man smoke?
Yeah, that was actually quite costly for C9.
Jump in here, that's gonna... Orchid's already done here for Storm. Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, the one nice thing that Cloud9 have is that they have multiple saves, so you can either like heal, you can repel, you can swap. There's a lot of ways to get the person out of the Storm initiation, but in another way you could also say that Cloud9 have to stay relatively grouped against G, otherwise they're just going to be giving up free kills.
Yep, and the way that Envy plays Terrorblade, he's generally on lone. With that said, he's also pretty close to his Manta style. I'm not even sure if Manta protects him that much though. When Envy plays, he just pops Manta every time on cooldown just to get that extra GPM. Yeah. So a lot of time, and I'm not sure if G is aware of that playstyle.
I think a lot of Terrorblade players nowadays like to just use their mana all the time.
Oh, bottom lane.
Yeah, the dive's gonna come through, but there's a heal. Bone 7 will survive for 1 BZZ, part of that gang. The swap back, and G's out of mana. The dual damage, is it gonna come through? Guardian Angel will secure that. Finally, 19 minutes in, Bone 7 has 10 damage to show for with duel.
That was actually really big, like killing both cores at the same time.
Yeah.
Getting the dual win, that was massive for Cloud9.
That was really huge. They might, I don't think they're gonna get to tier 1, but I mean they don't need to. And I didn't think VP needed to make a goal like that either. They could just continue farming. I mean, he did go for Battlefield and PA, so he's not tanky at all. And I don't think they need to be so afraid of going late game against this TB, because they have some really nice ways of dealing with him later on as well. If they just continue farming and get like 3 heroes mega fat, because Legion is not really getting anything still. He's still not having his Blink Dagger. And I mean, Centaur does have good form, but it's still just a Centaur.
I think the Elder Titan PA is like the scariest thing, because late game, your Terrorblade is going to melt.
One hero, right?
Yeah, you can die one hit as well in the Spirit if you get a lucky crit. So yeah, I don't think they just need to still just calm down and play the game in a normal pace. They don't need to stress anything. It might sometimes feel like you need to stress sometimes when you play against like Naga and TB, Spectre and those kind of heroes. But if you have a lead, almost the worst thing you can do is to stress and start rushing into decisions.
What do you feel about? Looks like we might see no. My question was about the Phantom Assassin. In the past, we saw BCC go for BKB and Linken's. Do you think this particular build will be well served this game? Because there is some very dangerous like Blink Duel, Swap. But apart from that,
Thunder, right?
Yeah.
Thunder and Duel are the two things that you want to do.
Is that enough to get the Linken's?
I think Basher is better. Like,
I
you
think
just go BKB
maybe
Basher.
he will just go BKB, Basher, Helm, something like that. We could see a Linken either Storm.
Well, you also want something that's not... You don't want to have to buy the Fusel Blade, obviously, on PA, and you want something to stop Repel. So having a Bash, I think, is like the direct answer to that.
Sure. Slow farm, but Cloud9 very diligently farming their jungle, farming the stacks. I like to see the VP supports continue to stack for that PA. And I mean, they also have a Sand King, so they're challenging this stack here. And last time they got a kill out of this one, but they just don't have a way to stop Envy doing this. With the two supports standing behind, everybody's getting experience. He's getting a ton of gold.
Yeah, I mean, they should probably, when they realize the stack, I don't think they really can contest. It's really hard to run into this 5-man standing uphill like that. So they should just continue farming, farm in the enemy jungle, farm their own jungle, push out lanes, and then from there they can take a map position where they can maybe get a pick off after that. Bone 7 has a blink dagger now. So this is a bit scarier for VP now, that they can actually set up kills with 2 heroes instead of just the Centaur.
Top lane and TP will be forced. Very dangerous to defend the tower against a missing Storm, against a missing Jotum, but looks like everybody's going to back off. So we have a very slow game. Misery, what is the go time for either team? Are we waiting for a key item? Are we waiting for a team to make a mistake?
Well, I think VP want the BKBs up on both Storm and PA before they want to try and push into any tower or anything like that. But they don't really have push heroes, so I think the right way to play for VP is to continue farming and keep pushing out lanes, and then eventually C9 will be out of position. Eventually you will have your Skyrad Mage and your Sand King lined up somewhere, and you can get a free pick, and then you can start, towers are still taking damage slowly and surely, so I don't think you need to 5-mana. You just continue farming. Try getting picks.
And if you're Cloud9, I guess you're okay with that because you have a Terrorblade farming, and arguably he's the best late game hero.
I don't know, actually. I think ultra late, if Bone 7 had better farm, I think he might be a little bit scarier to deal with, but as it stands right now, he still only has Naked Blink and 1 dual win, so outside of GA, I think ultra late, VP probably have the advantage, just in terms of Elder Titan being so brokenly good late game.
The late game, I mean, both teams can compete late game. It comes down to, as it usually does in late game scenarios, it comes down to who initiates on who and how the fight goes down, and who makes the individual mistakes in the fights or whatever. But I mean, Omni is really, really good late game as well, and it also matches up against Elder Titan really nicely with the ultimate. So late game is going to be interesting for sure.
Oh, the Blink Duel is going to find G, and in fact, she's going to get blown up. The swap back here for Jotum. 2 kills immediately going the side towards Cloud9. Do you actually just go for the Roshan pit right now? They want a little bit more. They see Sidoi, Blink Dagger on cooldown 1 second. He'll blink forward. The clap. No, okay, Sidoi
nice
gets
stop.
1 clap. That's a beautiful one that hits everybody. Envy looking to close in. In fact, BCC wants to fight. He's got the BKB activated. He sees how he crits. He's here. BKB still going on. Here comes Storm. Storm bought back for this, but Envy's in this fight. He's right-clicking away. Another hero deleted. Here comes the Sandstorm, the Burrow Strike. Can Envy actually get off a Sunder? He can't. Wow, what a turnaround for Virtus.Pro.
That mid-Sunder animation, Envy goes down there. I think if he got it off, he probably still would have died, but maybe at the very least he would have been able to take someone with him. They throw a dagger here onto Bone 7, but...
Do you want to keep chasing?
I mean, that's pretty manly, right? Like, chasing that far, even though they have 3
I
dead currently.
think C9 should have just realized that they needed this third game in the bank and then gone for Roshan, right? Yeah, because now Storm just buys back for, what is it, some 500, 700 gold, 800 gold, and wins them like a counter wipe, basically.
That's a huge fight as well.
I mean, if they just ends up on BZZ, they just really don't have an answer. I don't think they kill him twice through BKB. But it looks like Cloud9 definitely will try to contest this. They deny the tower. Roche is down to about half HP. Everybody on Virtus.Pro is very low. Gotta keep in mind that Epicenter has been used in the previous fight. The crits are coming out though. We'll see how low Roshan is. Blinking from Bone 7. He's repelled. He's actually just going in. He wants a duel, but you gotta be careful of the crits. Blink hoops some. They want BZZ. They will get him. Stormspirit quite low in mana. He'll zip left. He'll TP out. He's fine. I think the key thing is the fact that Roshan is very easily taken for Cloud9.
Yeah. I actually thought they would be able to kill it fast enough, but I guess the respawn times are not that high, 25 minutes into the game, and they don't have like medallion or minus armor or anything like that, so actually
Yo wants to play, he blinks in, but he's kind of stuck, so he dies.
A valiant effort.
Yeah. I mean, if he stole the Aegis, it's completely worth.
Fata here, gonna get put to sleep. Do they have any follow-up for this, though? I don't think anyone's nearby. G, in the meantime, finding a pick in the river.
Yep.
He manages to kill Aoi.
He's gonna get going on here by Bone, I think, though.
Oh, yeah, he's dead.
Oh, that's a couple of quick suggestion wins for... Oh, might get a little bit more here. Jodam getting a little bit caught up. Body blocks from Pylai die. One more blink should do it. Jodam jukes to the left. He's walking fairly fast. One more kill. And Sadoy might be in trouble as well. Bone 7 just man fighting. He's got to press the attack. Moment of courage is all real. They get the tower as well. No, there's a glyph on the tower. Envy just stands there waiting for the TP in. I'm not sure exactly about what. Here comes the TP out for Sadoy. Doesn't make it home. Tower's going to go down. Another TP in from Sand King. What is... It feels like there's just a breakdown right now.
Yeah,
Blink forward.
What's happening?
Hoof Stomp's gonna be there. Double edge, not gonna connect.
Fine. Yeah, but still, that was once again like extremely costly for VP. They win the fights, and I think maybe they should just commit to take the tower, back off, everyone heal up, and then contest the Roshan if C9 wants to try and take it after that. You know, not be greedy and go for both tower and Roshan and the dive. But I mean, obviously that's a hard call to make, but. Just maybe more discipline there, and they would have been like miles ahead right now.
Yeah, Envy at this point will have the completed Scotty. And I think I've heard RTZ in the past talk about that. If I have a Manta Scotty in about 25, 27 minutes of game time, I feel like I can't lose the game. But this game, though, there is still that PA, so it's always dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to how much the enemy has and the heroes that he's against, obviously.
I mean, if you look at Envy right now, right? He actually just have 1400 health. Because the Scotty, the Manta all give him like real agility.
Yeah.
And that translates to 0 armor when you have a Elder Titan.
There's DD, like these DDs, I don't know, I've seen the way they played with C9, the Terrorblade, is that he gets this bottle and then he just checks wounds all the time.
Yep.
And eventually he gets this DD, and you get this DD with like 400 damage, or like now it's even more than that with meta. Your illusions have DD as well if you pop it at the right time. I don't know if that's even fair. It's so much damage.
I think illusions just get the blue.
Yeah, it doesn't
color
actually work
effect.
on illusions. Just
it
the
doesn't.
animation.
Okay.
Yeah.
It works on Meepo.
Yeah,
Well, those aren't
that's right.
illusions.
Those are actual heroes.
But yeah, I mean, the timing is obviously still really good for Cloud9. And if they want, they could probably start pressuring some tier 2s.
Ball 7 gonna get caught
here.
Mystic Flare is gonna be there, and that's a quick kill.
And that's a Blink Omni Knight.
Jeez.
I like it though. I think it's actually necessary.
He's gonna stay so far back.
Like Bone 7's been playing pretty YOLO, right? Like he goes in, he goes for duels very far away. Having a Blink Centaur and a Blink Omni, like the burst damage that you put out, you have double edge, hoof stomp, purification.
Top lane, in fact, it's gonna be that initiation right there. The Yule Scepter is gonna be there, and BKB's gonna get activated, TP out straight up. And talking about the item choices on PA, he's gone for that Diffusal Blade.
Yeah.
It's still a really good item. It's just typically it means that you're not going to be able to make like Satanic or anything, so your late game I think is going to be a tiny bit weaker. You could still go for Abyssal Blade obviously after this, but maybe he just wants to go back for maybe Vlad's. I don't know if it's worth it though, honestly.
I think you actually teamed about the Vlad's.
I don't even know if I think this Diffuser Blade is such a good purchase here. I mean, obviously he doesn't because of the Omni-Knight, but...
And look at Sadoy, he's also working on one. I think if you have two people working on one, I think you just say, all right, Sadoy, you get it, I get the Basher.
But one for the Repel, one for the GA, right? Because a good Omni will always bait your spells, or bait your diffuses.
Yeah, I mean, you can't remove like ult from multiple heroes anyway. Okay, if you have two, then you can, but maybe it's better to just get hexes and get a really fat late game PA and then just deal with that Omni in a different way. But we'll see how it works out. I just don't feel like Diffuser Blade is that big of a counter to Omni anymore.
If you're MV here and you're playing a Terror Blade, are you concerned about not having any armor at all? Or you just say, they would never find me anyways?
I actually think that if he just goes like MKB, then the PA goes in and dies to him like immediately. Because
well, if the PA doesn't kill immediately, then the PA dies.
You have GA, right? You have heals,
true.
You have a swap. I think he can actually go for the damage choice here and not really be punished too hard, because clearly in most games you want to buy stuff like Butterfly, but the evasion is good, and the PA might eventually get an MKB, but doesn't have one now. Still a good option, but again, no armor with that. I think the best choice is to just be a damage threat to the PA right now, because 50% evasion is insane, like even against the high physical DPS output of a Terror Blade.
What do you think, Misery? What would you get here?
I think he either goes for... Maybe you don't like BKB. I guess you don't need BKB when you have Omni to some extent, but I think yeah, the MKB is really good. Either MKB or Butterfly, I'd say. I think you're fine with the armor. Else you can get an AC probably, or someone can get a Vlad's later on. It's not like he needs to fight right now anyway. They can just continue farming as well. They won the last fights, so they are still in a really good spot. They just need to try and get some more picks, and then they can basically take the whole base in 1 second because it's TB, but that's later on.
Right now, Virtus.Pro is really struggling with map vision. They have one ward that peaks at the river at the bottom, but aside from that, look at the map control and the vision that Cloud9 has. And that really goes a long way when you're playing against the storm, when you have a LC that's like missing off the map. It's really tough for Virtus.Pro to play this drag-out game. They're steadily getting out-farmed. And we'll just have to wait and see what MV goes for. I think I'm a bigger fan of Butterfly. The MKB is really good against the PA, but I feel like Butterfly makes you good against everything else. And the illusions, or the evasion is still good against the PA.
Yeah, it is. I guess they have a lot of magical damage, so Butterfly won't help so much against it, which is why I thought about the
damage output.
Yeah, the BKB, but yeah, there's going to be Repel. That Repel is probably going to get removed by the Diffusals. So, I mean, it's going to come down to, regardless if he goes Butterfly or MKB, it's going to come down to how the fight breaks out.
Yeah, execution, more important than anything else. Fata has a ultimate orb. Any chance of this being a Linken's, or are we going to see a Hex?
That's going to be Linken's, I think.
Yeah, you put it on the Repel target, and it basically means you can't defuse unless you use two, which they can. Yeah.
They have two, but you need to use that in a fight. Like, two heroes need to click on that target, and TB will kill you within seconds.
That's true.
So it's not as easy as it sounds like on paper.
So maybe once that Linken's is done, Cloud9 feel a bit more confident here. Like you said, they don't have to pressure themselves too much, but you want to get a good map control kind of presence going if you want to get Roshan the next time, and having that Linken's up kind of ensures that, like you said, your Terror Blade's going to have a pretty good time in a team fight. So when that item's done, do you figure they might play it a little bit more aggressive?
I think they want the Butterfly and maybe wait for next Aegis, and then wait for this DD to pop somewhere. Like, I've seen them play so many times with the TB, and every time he gets the DD, it feels like he's making a call to go somewhere and kill everyone. So
I guess they're just waiting for that, right?
Yeah, he went for Butterfly. So he farms his Butterfly, and then when Roshan is up, they will probably try and remove all vision around Rose Pit and then try and take it. Maybe get a pick first, maybe try smoking into the jungle or something like that to get the map positioning, and a pick follows.
My biggest question right now for VP is, how much pressure are they actually feeling right now? Because they have 3,100 gold right now on BZZ. He had his Diffusal Blade. Actually, they have 2 Diffusal Blades, and they're going to smoke up now. They don't really want to wait anymore.
This timing could be pretty good, because he doesn't actually have his Butterfly just yet.
If they win the fight now, Roche is going to spawn soon.
And they have the double Diffusal and stuff, so this could be a very good timing.
If they catch Pylai Dido, like this is not the target you want to cash in. They'll initiate on him. They'll get the kill, but is that worth it? Because I don't think you engage in the tower like this.
I think you're happy if only a support dies to a 5-man smoke gang.
Yeah.
I think that's where your mentality is.
Yeah, so you're not gonna be fine with that. But they were probably gonna lose this T2 in mid lane, and I mean it will help. It will give VP some more gold and map control. So it's still a good move regardless of VP. It puts pressure on E.
And V walking in, I think they have noticed the double Diffusal Blade so far. So repel's not gonna actually matter much.
Nope, not yet. They need the link. Oh, yes, Lincoln's actually.
Yeah.
So in fact, they don't push the tower. They'll back out, respecting the fact that Blink Centaur, Blink Duel is a thing. And they'll back out, but Roche is back up. They just saw BZZ TP top. Do you make a play at the Roshan pit, or you just say the Storm is too dangerous around the pit?
I think it's more about the Elder Titan. I could imagine C9 going for smoke right now, like a 5-man smoke. And yep, there's one on chicken. They're gonna smoke into the Radiant jungle, get a pick, and they also have Illusion on TB. So this is pretty big.
That's like, I don't want to say DD. This is almost like a DD, right?
Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah. I think VP should expect this.
In fact, it's going to be Sadoy that breaks the smoke. And can he actually use? He used right there. The Stampede's already activated. He's going to get bursted down. And without Sadoy, Cloud9 could easily take Roche if that's what they want.
Well, he knows they want a Roche, so he just buys back straight away.
Yeah.
I mean, Cloud9 still can't freely take Roche, but they committed Stampede to that. It's not a huge cooldown, but...
And Metamorphosis. That's the bigger one. In fact, that's a 2-man hoof stomp. They see them, and look at the damage output. They just die instantaneously. Sadoy, he bought back for this, but he's slowed down. He's self-using, but I think he's going to be dead as well. Do you go Roche, or do you go for Rax?
I think you
Storm's
take
too.
bottom tier 2 and you take Rax as well. Not Rax, Roche. I mean, you can get both. You just send some illusions bottom.
BZZ's blinking away. He's buying time here. He's actually clearing the creep, but this is going to be a big kill. Hoofstomp not going to hit BZZ, popping his BKB. So a lot of time bot, but is there blink duel? No, there is not.
All right, so that was pretty much an utter disaster for VP. Sadoy actually died twice, bought back. G died. They've basically gotten nothing out of this engagement, and Roshan's going to be going the way of Cloud9. So I guess now it's all about trying to just defend, and if you can defend against Envy right now.
Envy is just so big. He got 4 kills in that last engagement.
Yeah.
He got an ultra kill, yeah, and we don't know what he's going for next, right?
Get the Aegis now. And I think with next meta, they can actually start taking down tier 2s, and it's going to be hard for VP to contest. They actually have an MKB on VA, so yeah, the crits can be real, so yeah, it can still be very scary for C9.
Oh, Blink Duel coming in here on the bottom lane, but Bone 7 losing a lot more health. He's actually got the blame on the crits working against BZZ. The dive is coming in right now. The offensive swap being used. Jadam's going to get picked. You know, when Cloud9 has a good game, you see a lot more offensive swaps. You don't need to swap Envy out of trouble. And Cloud9 is rolling over VP.
Yep, no buyback PA. This is a Rex. But I mean, PA just killed himself on the blade mail of Bone 7 right there. I think he crit twice and just died.
Now, can Cloud9 actually drone here? Because the other lanes, the tier 2s are still up, so you can't...
I don't think they go that hard. I think they just back up.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't need to do... They just take this Rex and they go farm jungle, I think. Go back, push out lanes. And they can even just regoose in some other lane right after.
Yeah.
I think it's very hard for VP now to do much. This duel on PA every time is going to be...
Oh, they're still hanging around a little bit. I'm not sure about this. Taking out some buildings, maybe some effigies on the top river. It looks like there's a blink duel against G, and G is losing a ton of health. Moment of Courage will bring him down on the very last tick. Bone 7 might not have been effective early, but he's really picking up.
He's made a comeback in this game. All right, now people are just dying left and right.
Go for the throw. I mean, this is the first game that Cloud9 has won in 3 games. I think VP is still very much so favored in the best of 5 series. But Cloud9 definitely showing a little bit signs of life.
Well, I don't know. Misery was saying it only takes that one game,
Oh,
right?
they're pulling
go on
against Envy.
here.
Envy, Guardian Angel, not going to be enough. He's still got the Aegis, but no Metamorphosis, though. Keep in mind the buyback has been used for this. Envy comes out, the Blink Hoof Stomp against BZZ, and look at the damage output. My God.
Okay, I think that's game.
Yeah, this is hard to come back from, for sure.
So, if you're Virtus.Pro, do you first ban the Terrorblade? Because Cloud9 is not afraid to first pick it or second pick it.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that's definitely something that they're going to discuss now after this game. But it's also pretty interesting that they go over the TV and they end up winning, because now we can maybe get to see a Fata Puck or a Fata Brewmaster.
Yeah.
Or another TV game, probably.